What's up everyone, welcome to Akuma's Arsenal. Today we're going over my collection for a second time in a very short period of time.
Return of the life, return of the life, return of the life. Black man, you want money and fame. Hustle, hustle now you're in the drug game. Get your money up, get it up, get the ends. Dreaming one day you're gonna drop that.
I just started getting back into watches when I came back to Mexico. Before I was just rocking my SKX, I didn't really think about them that much. And watching that video over again, I don't really feel like it conveys the emotional attachment I have to some of my wristwatches. So I've decided to go through it, but this time we're only going to do my 5 core pieces, what I would consider my core watches, the ones I wear the most, the ones that I'm constantly changing out for. This one I'm wearing on my wrist right now was a gift from a subscriber, Sean Pollard. This I would consider not to be in my core, because I wear this maybe for about 3 days every not even maybe 3 days every like 2 months. The reason for that, by the way, it's the Vostok Komandyrski, is people always say, oh, you know, use the date changing tip. Oh, use the date changing tip. Never ever works on this Komandyrski. I don't know why. I can't remember the movement and all that stuff. It works for the other Vostok amphibian I used to have, but it doesn't work for this guy. I'm wearing it on the strap he gave me. Beautiful wristwatch. It's a great Soviet wristwatch, but communism sucks. This though, I believe, was not made in the Soviet Union. I think it was it's dated I think around late 90s, early 2000s, so it's Russian Federation. Alright, well, without further ado, let's begin. First guy on the list is the Longines. I can't figure out what Longines this is, unfortunately. I don't know very much about it. Lugs on these guys. They're very I would say kind of Art Deco, kind of sharp, flashy. I really find that interesting. You know, they're not just the normal you know, straight line, slight curve, you know what I mean? They decided to take a little bit of effort with these little flares out in the end. I really like that. I like the crown. The crown in comparison to other watches I have is really not as special. There's no insignia on it, there's no engraving on it. It's just gold with a little place for grip. It's not anything too crazy. It has a kind of interesting kind of, it has a fairly basic case design. I believe this is kind of one of maybe Longines' more entry-level golden wristwatches. It's got a very interesting dial layout. Number one, you can tell that these indices are applied. They used to have lume on them right in the middle. Unfortunately, this watch is so old the lume has worn out. The hands are in good condition. Excuse my uncle in the background. He's actually the one who gave me this watch. It's sharp, kind of like a sword hands a little bit. The hands themselves don't have any angle to them. They're just flat with gold, and I believe most of the gold on this watch is most likely in the dial. That is a gold dial. On the back it just says the karat gold it is, and it is 14 karat gold. This is not a gold filled wristwatch. This is a gold watch. Very beautiful watch. Probably one of my oldest wristwatches in my collection, and definitely the ones I'm the most proud of. Second up, we have this beautiful wristwatch. This right here is a Timex. There's the Waterbury, there's the Marlin, there's the Viscount. That's right. This right here is a Timex Marlin. I can tell because of the movement, that because it's a manual wind. The dial is very similar to other Marlins with the 12639 and the other types of indices. Kind of like a, what is the word for a base metal plated? I mean, that's I'm almost certain that's maybe plastic. The dial's pretty interesting. It's got a little sunburst effect, and it's got a nice domed crystal on it. The movement is nothing crazy to look at. It's honest to God a little ugly, but it has a little bit of an industrial kind of taste to it. The band I have it on is actually a KXO13 watch band, and I think it looks really good on the wrist. And I love it that you can size it, and it's thin, it fits the watch. I really do like this watch a lot. This one also has a lot of sentimental value for me. TGV back in the day sent me a list of a bunch of watches. He gave me a vintage Seiko, I think another vintage Timex, and this guy. And I was sending him the back of the watches, and he said, you know what, you can keep that one. So I'm very thankful for that. So a beautiful wristwatch. I wear it all the time. I wore this watch a lot in Mexico because it looks kind of cheap. It is a cheap watch. If it gets stolen, it gets stolen. That sucks. I lose the watch that TGV gave me. But at the end of the day, it's a Timex, and they're meant to be worn. They're meant to get beat up. I'm sure you can see it a little bit there, but there's a little bit of damage on the crystal. Nothing too crazy. It keeps accurate time. By the way, the Longines does also. Second up is probably my favorite wristwatch, and the watch that if I could only wear one watch in my collection, it would be this one, the Seiko KXO13. This is the 38mm version of the SKX line. There's, it's a dive watch. It's rated 200 meters. Date. I think it has the 7S26 movement. I can't remember off the top of my head. I've been rocking on this Blue Shark NATO strap. I have two of these. I put this thing on. I've been rocking it for a long time. Long time. I mean, first of all, I'll just show you the strap. It looks honestly disgusting. I think I need to make another cleaning your NATO strap video, because man, this is beat up. It's even suffering a little bit on the ends here. What I usually do is I just burn these, melt it in, and usually it's back up to working. Now back to the watch. It's got a pretty cool great wave of Kanagawa on the back. It's my only Japanese wristwatch right now. I used to have an Orient Mako. I decided to give that one to my little brother because I wanted to get an SKX. Orient's awesome. They have in-house movements, and I'm not going to say more, but I might be able to get a different type of Orient in for you guys, depending on the trade that goes on with a subscriber. This watch is fairly thick. My uncle's playing some games. It's a super thick watch. I mean, if you compare this to the Timex, I mean, the Timex crystal is domed, but if you even take the domed, if you even include the Timex domed crystal, it's almost twice its thickness. It's a very thick watch. It's fairly heavy. It came with the Jubilee. I don't even know what happened to it. I don't ever wear any of my watches with a metal band. Well, I guess besides the Timex. But yeah, this watch is by far the one I wear the most. It's my everyday watch. I've learned swimming with this. I've visited many different countries with this. I've done so many things with this watch, and I really do have a lot of sentimental value with it. And if there's one watch, like, if I become like a super famous race car driver or something like that, or I became a super famous guy who goes underwater, the dudes that the watch world loves to talk about, an actor or whatever, I'd really want this to be associated with this watch right here, the SKX13. Beautiful wristwatch, my favorite. Highly recommend it. Next on the list, we have my beautiful Timex Viscount. This right here, I know it's a Timex Viscount because of the movement inside. It is, I don't remember off the top of my head, but it is an automatic and has an interesting way of winding itself. I'm not going to take out the movement right now, but basically it has it doesn't have a full spinning rotor. It basically has a little axis that a little metal part swings about and kind of crunches like this to generate its energy. The human being is generating the energy, but the energy is being, what would the word be, controlled, harvested, maintained, controlled by the movement that's being stimulated by that little part in the movement. I got this watch at a local Goodwill. I got it for 20 bucks. I'm very happy with it. I probably wear this more than my other Timex just because it's automatic. Sometimes I like not having to worry about having to wind my watch. I just want to slap something on and not have to worry about it. This watch right here, I feel it's pretty robust. Honestly, I probably shouldn't be saying this to you guys, but I've worked out in probably all of my watches. I've probably gone gardening with all of my watches. I've probably socked someone in the face with all my watches. I've probably drank tons of beer in all of my watches. I've probably fallen asleep with my watches. And every once in a while, I'm stupid enough to go into the shower with a watch and be like, oh no, that could have been bad if I'd forgot that. Usually with my watches, I just keep them on and just continue on with the day. It's only when I'm doing something, you know, water heavy or sweat heavy that I don't like wearing straps like this. You know, I mean, I don't even know if this is leather or not, but leather and sweat never mix as well. Last but not least, we have the beautiful, the one and only, the watch I have just made a video about. The lovely Hamilton Dodson. I've watched TGV's video on like something about like vintage watch or something. He was talking about this other square, I think, what was it? Was it the Longines or something? I don't even remember. But it was another square wristwatch, and he was talking about the Cartier tank and stuff like that. I don't think this is a very good alternative to the Cartier tank. It's really got its own look to it, I think. Maybe I'm just biased, but well, actually, you know what it might be is it might be because I'm thinking of the new Cartier tanks, the kind of squarish ones that I see when I'm walking past like Ben Bridge here in Seattle when I'm in downtown. But I love it. It's a great vintage wristwatch. You can find these honestly for a really, really good price on eBay. I checked online. You can buy them for $70 if you wait and find a good bid. And that's one really huge tip I'm gonna offer you guys when you're buying on watches on eBay. Bid. Do never ever buy a buy now unless you know that it's a relatively good price. Dang. My Uncle AJ's a nerd, so shh, don't tell him. Check that out. It's got a little carved in H for the the crown. I'm rocking it on a faux pas right here. You see that? You see this? This is a faux pas right here. This is steel. This is gold. This is steel, this is gold, but you know what? I don't care. You know why? I'm too broke to buy more straps. But yeah, this is a watch I've been wearing a lot lately. It's got a real loud tick to it, if you guys can hear that. It's very, very loud. It's very, very beautiful. I love wearing it with this jacket, anything beige. I love wearing it with a dress shirt. I love wearing it with just a t-shirt. Love wearing this watch. It's the only watch I wear this is the only watch I wear that I kind of show off when I'm in public, you know. Actually, I was at doing an internship with an interview, and I was just talking to this old lady. I don't know, she's not that old, but in comparison to me, she was older than me for sure. And I was talking to her, and we were just talking about like stuff and blah 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 blah. We're talking about this, talking about that, and I get into that. I make videos and all that stuff. She was asking me questions about that and all that stuff, and I was like, you know what? Check this out. This is a Hamilton Dodson, made 1938 to 48. It's a cool wristwatch, all this stuff. Because she was telling me her, I think it was her nephew was getting into collecting watches. So I just gave her the quick rundown on it. You know, it's the only watch that I go out of my way to tell, not even to tell, just to show off. Like, let's say I'm on the metro bus, I see a cutie, I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? I love this watch. It's for me, something about it. It's just so fine, refined. I just love everything about it. It's completely unique. It's small. I think it's like 20. Well, that depends. I think with including the lugs, it's probably like 38, but without the lugs, maybe 35 long, maybe 26 short. So it's a very, very small watch, but man, is it beautifully refined. It's the Hamilton Dodson. I love the sub-seconds hand. I don't know, something about sub-seconds hands get me. I love them. I mean, they're real big from that era, you know, maybe just 50s and before. You can find a lot of sub-seconds. Nowadays, it's a lot more rare unless you go to the more old school brands, or, you know, there's still watches out there, of course, that have the sub-seconds, but it's more of looked as an old school thing. I actually wonder, is it sub-seconds like more complicated movement-wise than an included seconds hand underneath the hour and minute hands? That's my collection, guys. I hope you're interested in it. I know it's the second time I went around about it, but you know what? I'm finally back into the groove. My first video, you know, I was getting back. I was kind of like, you know, do I want to do this YouTube thing again? You know, like watches. I love watches, but maybe I'll just do it solo. Then I figured, you know what? Actually, exactly what happened was, I was in Mexico. And I was just checking out some watches and stuff like that. I get back and I start thinking about watches and all this stuff, and I start changing up my rotation more and more and more. And then I make that video where I just go over my collection, just super boring. It's a boring ass video, but I didn't even edit it at all. I don't even remember if I put music on it or anything. No intro, no nothing. But then after that, I went, after making that video, I sat down. I was just like on eBay, like hunting watches, like looking for vintage stuff. Like, okay, with my internship, I'm going to be making this much money, and if I spend this much money, I might be able to save up for an Timex Master Reduced. Oh, and then oh, what about this Breitling chronomat that's like 36 millimeters? Oh, that's so cool. I want a chronograph. And then I just started going on and on and on. And you know what? I just realized that I really do love wristwatches. I'm sure you guys do too. Tell me, what wristwatches do you guys have? I would love to hear. If you have any interesting pieces, please let me know down in the comments so I can learn more about wristwatches, especially if you have vintage pieces, you have pieces from brands that I don't really know about, that you don't think other people know about. Enlighten me and all the other people who watch the videos, like what's going on with your collection. That'd be very, very, very cool. Second, I just want to say that I will be giving away some wristwatches. This right here I found out was a Clinton, some type of Clinton watch. Clinton is an old defunct watch brand, one of the many that has been passed down and gone. It's called the, I found it by typing up Clinton 17J and looking at the completed listings. I think it's a World War II watch, but I don't think it was probably ever worn in combat or anything like that. It might be post-war surplus, maybe from like the 50s, but I think it's a great wristwatch. I'm thinking about giving it away. As a matter of fact, I have already decided that I'm giving this away. And if you want to enter the giveaway for this beautiful watch, this Clinton 17J, here we go for it. This Clinton 17J, movement, all this stuff, follow me on Instagram, at eMansArsenal. Unfortunately, I forgot my password to the other one, so I'm restarting all that. It's alright though. It happens. But I'm giving this watch away. That is true. Some other things to mention is I'm getting the Omega repaired. It had some issues with it, so it's getting repaired and serviced. That's going to be done probably tomorrow. I'm going to head over, talk with my watch guys about that, get all that stuff sorted out. And also the Benrus. Funny enough, when I find out about Benrus from a guy who used to rob banks and ran down to Mexico, TGV, that same video I was talking about with the other tank watch that I can't remember, was I think, yeah, like I said, I think it was Longines. He has a Benrus, some type of like Vietnam Benrus or something like that. So that's really, really cool. But my Benrus is very, very, very different. It's got like knotted lugs. It's black. If you want to really see it in my boring video, go check out the Motley Crue video that I made. This one I'll probably rename something different, but that is what's going on with the wristwatches right now. There's some stuff going on. You probably, if you're watching this video, you definitely know what I'm talking about, mister. There's some things in the works. I'll get my watches in for you guys. I can review them. But ultimately, I think the videos will be coming out a little bit slower, just because, you know, I'm not in this to become a big YouTuber. I'm not in this to make a lot of money. I just want to just get down, check out some watches, share it with you guys, and I want you guys to tag along on the journey also. So guys, thank you very, very much for watching. This has been Akuma. Akuma out.